When Ryan Kwok woke up on Tuesday morning, he discovered his abs had become a social media sensation. It had started with a scathing review of his latest movie. The best part of that kind of wedding? Ryan Kwok's abs. But the last thing Canada needs is another actor named Ryan. It was his first leading role, and the critical response had been a bit of a mixed bag. Okay, leaning toward negative. So this review wasn't exactly a surprise. The review didn't appear in a major publication, but the author had started a thread on Twitter dedicated to his abs, cataloging their obvious beauty and many talents, complete with close-up shots from the trailer and his Instagram account. She appeared to be quite a fan of his abs, even if she liked nothing else about the rom-com. And that thread, it had gone viral. He'd had a spike in Instagram followers. Hashtag starring Ryan Kwok's abs was trending. People were discussing the roles his abs could play in movies, how they should appear in post-apocalyptic and period pieces alike. When he'd gone to bed at 11 last night, there hadn't been a whiff of this. And now? Well, he couldn't help but laugh. "Good job, boys," he said, looking down at the body part that was now gaining international fame. If he was honest, they weren't quite as glorious as they'd been when that kind of wedding was filmed. In the past 4 months, he'd been following his diet and workout routine. Mostly. But the past 4 months had been the worst of his life. At least now the promotional tour was over. He'd struggled to fake a smile for late-night talk show hosts, given what was happening in his family, and oh, dear God. Ryan's dad was going to see this, damn it. Once upon a time, he'd assumed his father didn't pay attention. But a year ago, he'd caught his father looking at his Twitter account. That was quite a shock, considering his father was anti-Twitter and all social media. In fact, Dad was anti a lot of things. He was also anti-stoner movies, as Ryan had learned when he'd filmed The Journey of the Baked Alaska, though this hadn't surprised him one bit. And anti-sitcoms, which Ryan had known his whole life. This hadn't changed when Ryan got his first break in Just Another New York sitcom several years back. Speaking of Just Another New York sitcom, he had a text from Melvin, one of his co-stars on the show. "Please convey my congratulations to your abs."
Lindsay McLeod wasn't used to seeing abs in her Instagram feed. Mostly she saw pictures of Toronto and food. Lots of food. She gave the photo a few seconds of attention and idly wondered if the man in question would ever eat anything as delicious as her chocolate espresso donuts, or whether such indulgences were strictly off limits for this Ryan Kwok guy. Then she uploaded a photo of her latest creation. New donut alert! Here for spring, matcha tiramisu donuts. A couple of hours later, Lindsay was piping buttercream onto some chocolate raspberry cupcakes when Raquel came into the kitchen. "Your mother's here," Raquel said, gesturing to the front of the bakery. Excellent timing for once. Ever since Lindsay's mom had moved downtown 5 months ago, she'd been popping into Kensington Bake Shop, the bakery Lindsay ran with her best friend Noreen, on a semi-regular basis. And she had an uncanny ability to arrive at the worst possible moments. Last time, it had been literally a minute after Noreen had spilled cherry jelly on the floor, on a day when they were running way behind because of a malfunctioning oven. But today, even though Noreen was away on her honeymoon, everything was in order, more or less. Lindsay could spare 5 minutes to talk to her mother. "Oh, I should probably mention," Raquel said, "your mother's not alone." Yes, sometimes Lindsay's mom brought one of her friends into the bakery. She was always bragging about Lindsay's donuts, cupcakes, and other creations, and she wanted to show them off to everyone she knew.